Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, as far as you can tell, guys, as far as from all the stuff that's been happening in the last couple of hours, and in a way, as far as with the the shooting rampage in Orlando, I feel like now that I'm probably indirectly affected by that, because of I'm a part of the whole LGBT community there because I'm gay myself, you know. And then the fact is, I probably have some friends that live in the area as far as I go. Any of my Facebook or Live Journal friends, as far as that goes. Because after all, I mean, I did had like a couple of people around that time that I followed on Live Journal or even Tumblr or whatever or whatnot, or Instagram, that probably live around the area as far as that goes. And in a way, it's it can be a bit overwhelming for some people as far as all this sort of wall to wall coverage and all this sort of stuff, and people start to react in weird ways about all this sort of stuff. So, anyways, um, as far as that goes on the news, I mean that they we could have had like two tragedies as far as that goes. If they hadn't caught this other guy in time, that was going to do the same thing over here in L.A. and all that, and then the fact that a lot of my friends are live around the LA area as far as that goes, and especially when it's Pride Week and all this sort of stuff there, and I think we were like coming from like an anniversary when we finally gained like full marriage equality as far as in this country as far as that goes, and there's just some people around here that are just not okay with that idea that gay people can get married and all this sort of stuff and all this, and that they're willing to retaliate in some ways, you know. So as far as that goes, I mean, at that one time, there were some people that that showed me like this one website where it was like pink pistols or gay pistols, where it was a group of gay gun owners and all this sort of stuff, and at one point or another, I think it was like it was like right after when Prop 8 had passed, as far as that goes, and how some of like the Prop 8 supporters who had extreme views and all this sort of stuff and wanted to go around and say stupid little things like this, and talk shit like that, and in a way, that was just one of the things that someone had pointed out to me, like, oh, maybe it's better like if you carry protection and all this sort of stuff, and I think I had that one discussion with my dad about that, and then he said something like, well, if it ever came to that sort of thing, that having to get yourself a gun and all this sort of stuff just to fight against all the homophobic extremists as far as that goes, But so far, it hasn't really gone to that sort of thing, because where where I live in California, as far as Orange County, it can be a bit conservative as far as that goes, but not that conservative, Although there are some other parts of California that can be somewhat very I mean, even more conservative than Orange County and all that. There are some that can be a little bit very conservative in a way that's more like in Fresno or Bakersfield or around that region of the Central Valley that can be a bit more conservative to the point where you even have like signs where it says "Fire Pelosi" or something like that. Those little signs. Or, I mean, I'm sure at that point they had like signs like at that time when when it was like Prop 8 and all this sort of stuff. They probably had it littered with all the yes on 8 signs, like that. Just as much as over in West Hollywood would have no one eats signs. Because I even remember a time where there was like somebody that lived about like a couple doors down, like at least maybe about like on the other side of the street, that had like a yes on 8 sign, and I mean the the bold, like unabashed liberal part of me would have probably gotten some sort of argument with that person and argued about like how can you go around and vote on other people's rights and blah 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 blah. How would you like it if your rights were voted on? Then blah 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 blah. That sort of thing. And there was one person, I mean, one house that had that sort of thing. There it was like that yes on 22 ad back in 2000, and it was like the same thing. They just didn't really understand the idea of like of all that sort of thing. What these gays are fighting for and all that. Marriage and all that. Geez, that sort of thing. And then we're probably gonna have the same people again. Like, oh, what these gays are fighting for nowadays. Blah 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 blah. That sort of stuff. And they don't really get it as far as that goes. As far as with this tragedy there. That that by saying these kind of things, you're kind of helping these people do these sort of stuff there. You know. I mean, with all this other little things there. I mean, even though we have like marriage equality there, in some, but yet you can still be fired for being gay in some states. And then, which I don't know when we're gonna have that sort of thing, or not just that, but also being refused services just because you're gay and all that. So I don't know how long that sort of thing is how long that's gonna take to pass over, and maybe another 5 or 10 more years at least, because it just depends on as far as what's the next generation that comes up, as far as that goes, and in a way, that's just one of the reasons why, in the long run, that all this homophobia is going to be gone in some cases there, because of the fact that look at how it is with the next generation of people there. There are a little bit more accepting of gay people at this point. So, anyways, I guess that's part of it. Until next time.